Welcome back, the Respawn Realm Gang, to yet another video. As we already know, the Space-Time Smackdown Genetic Apex A2 sets are finally out, and some of the inclusions are breaking the internet. We had a chance to see a bunch of meta-relevant cards, which is taking deck building to a whole new level. With so many combinations and pair-ups when it comes to selecting cards for the deck or building decks for a certain kind of playstyle, I understand, guys, it sometimes can get very confusing and overwhelming. So here I am, guys, to talk to you about building some of the most versatile decks in a two-part video, where I would do a complete analysis of two decks in each video and let you guys know why these decks are diverse and suited to most playstyles. Keep in mind, I will be making the decks revolving around new cards that got released in the latest A2 sets. Alright guys, as we know, the Dialga and PALKIAEX were the face of the Space-Time Smackdown Apex sets, and it's inevitable to stop these cards from breaking the meta. These two cards are absolute tanks, and the functionality that they bring to the table is completely unchallenged. Wait, hold on. Maybe Infernape, I guess. So anyways, today we're gonna focus on Dialga and PalkiaEX and build a deck with each one of these cards and explain the physics behind it and how it can build the ultimate deck for you guys. So without further ado, let's jump into the first deck. So for the first deck, as you can see, I'm going with a combination of PalkiaEX and Articuno EX. And as you have guessed it right, this is a water type deck. So before getting into the description and throwing light on how this deck plays out, let's talk about the cards that I'm using for this deck. So firstly, we want the Vaporeon washout feature in this deck. So obviously we're going with 2 EVs and 2 Vaporeons, followed up by 2 Articuno EX and 2 PalkiaEX. We also would need the Leaf supporter card, as we are going with 2 of them so that we can move the Pokemons up and down. And why I'm using the Leaf, I will explain later on in the video. We're also going with the unanimous Misty cards, just so that if we are lucky, we get those energy on our desired Pokemons right away. Everyone's favorite, guys, Professor's Research coming up next, and we're going with 2 of those, as well as 2 of the Pokeballs to get to our Pokemons faster. We're going with the Potion, as well as the Manaphy card for the energy supply as well, and we are also going with 2 Giovannis. So that's the deck for you guys. Before talking about the deck, let me disclose, guys, that the deck has a slight drawback of being energy heavy. But don't let that confuse you, because this does not stop this deck from dealing a crazy amount of damage to all of your opponent's Pokemons on the board. By combining PalkiaEX's Dimensional Storm and Articuno EX's Blizzard, this deck can overwhelm your opponent's entire team. Believe me, guys. Let's be honest, these 2 EX cards are just completely overpowering. Now let's emphasize on the strategy for this deck. The strategy revolves around energy management and survivability of your EX Pokemons. I mentioned, you guys, we're going with 2 Leaves, and it's very important for your EX Pokemons to survive so that you can fire off that final attack, aka the Dimensional Storm or the Blizzard. So for that, if you see that you got some damage onto them, you definitely need the Leaf card to move them around on the board. So you have to start with prioritizing evolving a Vaporeon on the bench and using the Misty to accelerate water energy attachment. Alternatively, you can substitute Potion by using Manaphy to produce more water energy for your benched Pokemons. Once everything is prepared and done, start doing damage to your opponent, and be watchful of your Pokemon's HP as well, guys. So if your active Pokemon is in danger, like I mentioned before, use Leaf to retreat and switch to your next heavy hitter. Thanks to Vaporeon's ability to transfer energy, you'll be able to continuously attack, and attack. Most of these cards, guys, can be found in the new Space-Time Smackdown booster packs, as you can see when you open your game on your mobile phones. While cards like Eevee and Vaporeon, like I mentioned, can be obtained from the Mythical Island booster pack, which got released just before this. Lastly, if you guys were wondering how to get the Articuno EX, Articuno EX can be obtained from the Mewtwo Genetic Apex pack. So there you have it, guys. The Palkia EX deck that we can all use to our advantage, and most importantly, get some wins under our belt. With that being said, let's talk about the next deck we'll be discussing. So this deck, guys, as I mentioned in my last video, is the most talked about and anticipated one amongst the members of the TCG Pocket community. And why I say that? Because it all started when Dialga EX got released and people got a chance to see the power movesets that it comes with. And I made a video stating how Dialga EX and Melmetal can be used as a lethal combo. So make sure to check out my previous video. This deck is also revolutionary because it marks the onset of the metal decks making a comeback to the meta. As I've mentioned in my last video, guys, metal was not always the go-to choice for most players, but I feel like with this combination, things are gonna change. As you have guessed it, guys, we're gonna talk about the Dialga EX and the Melmetal combo for this next deck. So before talking about the deck, let's just have a look at the cards that I'm using to build this deck. So obviously, I'm going with 2 Meltons and 2 Melmetals and 2 Dialga EXs. That is basically the core of the deck, and I'm building it around these 2 Pokemons. We're also, however, using 2 Mew EXs because of the colorless energy that you can attach to it. We're also going with 2 Leaf cards. We're going with 2 Rocky Helmets. We're going with 2 Professor's Research, which is everybody's favorite and the most common choice for building any decks. We are going with 2 Pokeballs, 2 Dawn cards, and 2 Giovannis. Now, talking about the playstyle and how this deck will play out, this deck revolves around utilizing Melmetal's defense, guys, Mew's Genome hacking, and Dialga's metal energy regeneration. This meta deck is designed to withstand heavy damage, guys. Like, this is a very tanky, like, you can take some damage and be okay with it and not panic. Like I said, this deck is designed to withstand heavy damage from the enemy while also returning a little damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. Strategically, it can be varying sometimes, but your main strategy will vary depending on your starting Pokemon, which is very important. Both Melton and Dialga EX, which is a basic card, like I mentioned, guys, and you can put it in the active spot right away, have metal energy regeneration, allowing you to prepare for the mid to late game, like 3-4 turns into the game. If you start with Melton and quickly evolve it into a Melmetal to tank damage while you set up the Dialga EX or the Mew EX as your heavy hitters, things can go in your way. However, if Dialga EX is your starting Pokemon, then bench Melton or Mew EX early to ensure a steady flow of energy. Dialga EX, guys, can hold the front lines while you build up your other attackers. Always remember that. That is the core playstyle for this deck. For added survivability, Rocky Helmet provides extra defense. And the Leaf card, as we all know, offers a quick retreat option if the battle gets too intense, guys. So obviously, guys, it's all about saving your Pokemon. I mentioned it in my last video, guys, sometimes you can lose some energy to retreat even if you ran out of Leaf cards, but sometimes you cannot give that free point away to your opponent. With that being said, most of these cards that I talked about in this deck can be found in the new Space-Time Smackdown Dialga Booster Pack. While cards like Melton and Melmetal can be obtained from the Charizard Booster Pack from the Genetic Apex, and Mew can be obtained from the Mythical Island Booster Pack. There you have it, guys. The best possible decks that you can build with Dialga EX and Palkia EX that I talked about. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, this is a two-part video. So stay tuned for part 2, as I'll be dropping another video on complete analytics and deck building strategies revolving around Garchomp and Infernape. Yes, guys, I let it out. I let you guys know what I'm gonna make the next video on. So it's gonna focus on Garchomp and Infernape because in my opinion, these two are also heavy hitters that got released in the new Apex A2 sets. So make sure to turn on that post notification, guys, so that you are notified whenever I drop part 2 of this video. So don't forget to check it out. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you love my content. Because, you know, guys, it motivates me to make more videos like this for you guys and basically help the community get more insights in the game. It's a brand new game, and you know, through education and discussions, we all gonna get better at it. So talk to you in the next video, guys, and until then, happy collecting, Respawn Realm Gang.